America needs radical reconstruction. Join Bishop Franklin Reed III, Supervisor Marla Reed, and Kingdom Strategist to strengthen and encourage our country in the days ahead. Join Bishop Leah Daughtry, Dr. Jamal Bryant, Co-Pastor Susie Owens, Dr. Dennis Dickerson, Mr. Marcus Henderson, Elder Robin Ware, Dr. Darren Thompson, Reverend Tamika Reed Sims, Dr. Charles E. Goodman, and Bishop Franklin Reed III. Plan now for radical reconstruction, a virtual strategy meeting October 29th through October 31st. Live stream on all 30 Episcopal districts, social media, Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website. Connect your family and friends for this essential gathering and time of strengthening October 29th through the 31st. Plan now to attend Radical Reconstruction.
Praise the Lord, everybody. Protocol already having been established, I want you to focus with me on the theme, it's time to take a stand. In 1787, when Richard Allen and a group of African Methodists at St. George's Methodist Church took a knee, they were taking a stand. And when they finished praying, they walked out and started the African Methodist, what would become the African Methodist Episcopal Church. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee, he was taking a stand for the fact that Black Lives Matters. And today, we are asking you to take a stand with us. Take a stand for the fact that Black Lives Matter. Take a stand against white supremacy in its individual and institutional manifestations. Each of us to get involved in making sure that as many people as we know and our families and friends get out to vote. The African Methodist Episcopal Church has taken a stand. We're working as a denomination to make sure that 1.5 million people get out to vote. And if when you take that stand with us, you take a stand with our partners. So we're asking you to take a stand and go and discover the information in the AME Voter Toolkit. Go to blackchurchrocks.org and discover technology that will help you help others register to vote, get early voting, make sure they're registered to vote, and that they have voter information and voter education and voter inspiration. And so as I close our time together, I want to encourage you to take a stand on the promises of God. For God has promised us that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And in the words of the hymn, when we stand on the promises of God, God will give us victory. Go stand with us as we stand with our partners and get out the vote, because the AME Church is taking a stand for the fact that Black Lives Matters and democracy shall survive for all people.
I'm not just a kid in your class, a test score, grade. I'm an active mind, full of imagination and curiosity. Tap into my genius. I'm not just a knucklehead in your neighborhood. I'm an entertainer, maybe even a politician, building my own stage. Show me where the light is. I'm not just dance routines and memes, swipes and likes. I'm an architect of culture, a visionary of cool. Help me build this bridge. I'm not just a table shaker, troublemaker, rule breaker on your nerves. I'm the antidote to hopelessness, tomorrow's medicine, the cure. Can't you see? I'm a world and a world changer. At least I want to be. And I could be if you vote for me.
Vote for me. Vote for me. Vote for me!
I'm A.J. Richardson, Senior Bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church. It seems that in every election cycle, someone is sure to say how important the upcoming election is. The narrative goes something like this. This is the most critical election in a generation. Well, this time we really mean it. We can't stress strongly enough just how crucial this election is. Up and down the ballot, national, state, and local elections. Voting is not only our civic duty, it is also our duty of faith with concerns for the environment, affordable health care, education, the economy, for our nation's place in the world, and the myriad other existential public policy issues that affect our lives, the lives of our families, and the next generation. By all means, vote.
America needs radical reconstruction. Join Bishop Franklin Reed III, Supervisor Marla Reed, and Kingdom Strategist to strengthen and encourage our country in the days ahead. Join Bishop Leah Daughtry, Dr. Jamal Bryant, Co-Pastor Susie Owens, Dr. Dennis Dickerson, Mr. Marcus Henderson, Elder Robin Ware, Dr. Darren Thompson, Reverend Tamika Reed Sims, Dr. Charles E. Goodman, and Bishop Franklin Reed III. Plan now for Radical Reconstruction, a virtual strategy meeting October 29th through October 31st. Live stream on all 30 Episcopal districts, social media, Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website. Connect your family and friends for this essential gathering and time of strengthening October 29th through the 31st. Plan now to attend Radical Reconstruction. Hi, my name is Marla Reed, and I want to invite you, your family, your friends, your neighbors, neighborhood, community, and your churches to join me to get out the vote. We are facing one of the most historic elections of our lifetime, November 3rd, 2020. You see, your voice is important, and your vote is important. Your vote is your voice, and your voice is your vote. You see, America is in crisis right now, and all of us, each one of us, must step up and do our part to make sure that America heals. America has experienced an economic failure, health crisis, a pandemic, and then social injustice that has ignited the ugly flames of racism and violence and voter suppression. Listen. Each one of us now more than ever has to step up and do our part. And your part is to plan your vote and to cast your ballot on November the 3rd, 2020 or before with a ballot. I want to encourage you to use any one of these three organizations, and they are not competitors, but they are collaborators in getting out the vote. The Women's Missionary Society of the AME Church is pleased to be a partner with Mrs. Michelle Obama's When We All Vote. So you can go to whenweallvote.org and check on the integrity of your vote, or you can register to vote, and you can also be encouraged to register 10 other people to vote as well. Or you can use our AME toolkit, which you can find at amev-alert.org, and you'll find many tools to help you to get your vote to the ballot box. Or you can go to rocks.online. Rocks.online is powerful technology designed for faith-based organizations to galvanize and to mobilize the vote. And every vote matters. I want you to join me. Stay in touch with us, and we'll make sure that together we can all win and build a better America. Your vote is critical, and your vote matters. And as a matter of fact, we can only do this when we all vote. Thank you so very much for your participation and your cooperation. Get out the vote. Now, stand by for an important message from Mrs. Michelle Obama from When We All Vote.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you for all that you're doing to help everyone in this country make their voices heard in this year's election and in every election. Your work has never been more important. From the ongoing pandemic to the passion and protests we've seen for racial and social justice, it's clear that we're in the middle of a big moment in this country. And that means we need leadership that honestly reflects who we are and what we stand for. Our job between now and November is to make sure everyone we know understands that the power to make change rests on our ability to cast a vote. Fair and safe voting is going to be more important than ever this year. And that's why When We All Vote is fighting to expand vote by mail, in-person early voting, and online voter registration. Now, I'm going to be honest. We're really going to need your help to make these efforts a success. Luckily, the first step is an easy one. Just spread the word. Make sure your friends, families, and communities are registered, know their rights, and are fully prepared to vote by mail this year or vote early in person. So, go to whenweallvote.org to find out more and get yourselves, your families, and your friends ready to make their voices heard. Let's get more folks across the country trained with the tools, the resources, and the information they'll need to vote, because this election couldn't be more important.
I'm not just a kid in your class, a test score grade. I'm an active mind, full of imagination and curiosity. Tap into my genius. I'm not just a knucklehead in your neighborhood. I'm an entertainer, maybe even a politician, building my own stage. Show me where the light is. I'm not just dance routines and memes, swipes and likes. I'm an architect of culture, a visionary of cool. Help me build this bridge. I'm not just a table shaker, troublemaker, rule breaker on your nerves. I'm the antidote to hopelessness, tomorrow's medicine, the cure. Can't you see? I'm a world and a world changer. At least I want to be. And I could be if you vote for me.
Vote for me. Vote for me. Vote for me!
Praise the Lord, everybody. Protocol already having been established, I want you to focus with me on the theme, it's time to take a stand. In 1787, when Richard Allen and a group of African Methodists at St. George's Methodist Church took a knee, they were taking a stand. And when they finished praying, they walked out and started the African Methodist, what would become the African Methodist Episcopal Church. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee, he was taking a stand for the fact that Black Lives Matters. And today, we are asking you to take a stand with us. Take a stand for the fact that Black Lives Matter. Take a stand against white supremacy in its individual and institutional manifestations. Each of us to get involved in making sure that as many people as we know and our families and friends get out to vote. The African Methodist Episcopal Church has taken a stand. We're working as a denomination to make sure that 1.5 million people get out to vote. And if when you take that stand with us, you take a stand with our partners. So we're asking you to take a stand and go and discover the information in the AME Voter Toolkit. Go to blackchurchrocks.org and discover technology that will help you help others register to vote, get early voting, make sure they're registered to vote, and that they have voter information and voter education and voter inspiration. And so as I close our time together, I want to encourage you to take a stand on the promises of God. For God has promised us that no weapon formed against us shall prosper. And in the words of the hymn, when we stand on the promises of God, God will give us victory. Go stand with us as we stand with our partners and get out the vote, because the AME Church is taking a stand for the fact that Black Lives Matters and democracy shall survive for all people.
America needs radical reconstruction. Join Bishop Franklin Reed III, Supervisor Marla Reed, and Kingdom Strategist to strengthen and encourage our country in the days ahead. Join Bishop Leah Daughtry, Dr. Jamal Bryant, Co-Pastor Susie Owens, Dr. Dennis Dickerson, Mr. Marcus Henderson, Elder Robin Ware, Dr. Darren Thompson, Reverend Tamika Reed Sims, Dr. Charles E. Goodman, and Bishop Franklin Reed III. Plan now for Radical Reconstruction, a virtual strategy meeting October 29th through October 31st. Live stream on all 30 Episcopal districts, social media, Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website. Connect your family and friends for this essential gathering and time of strengthening October 29th through the 31st. Plan now to attend Radical Reconstruction.
Praise the Lord, everybody. This is Bishop Reed, and how excited I am about what God has been and is doing in this Radical Reconstruction This Means War conference. We're getting ready for another tremendous and life-changing and ministry-changing information session, teaching session. I just sent to Supervisor and Reverend Rock and Robin Ware. I just sent them a Barna study that says that during the COVID pandemic, 1 in 3 Christians have stopped going to church altogether, which means that we're really going to have to up our virtual game because, as you know, COVID is getting worse. As I get ready to present Reverend Darren Thompson in just a minute, I spoke about in our earlier presentation this morning, Hakeem Adabuti. His latest book that I recommend to you highly is a book of poetry. It's entitled Taught by Women, Poems as Resistance Language, and it is powerful. There's great poetry in here for men and women about relationships, about living a healthy, happy, and whole life. I recommend it to you highly. Then to pastors and those who love the church, there's a book by Eric Mason. I'm going to ask Dr. Micah Sims to find him. He's the founding pastor of Epiphany Fellowship in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This book, Woke Church, will bless your ministry as we are determined to go into a new season of greatness in ministry for the Lord Jesus Christ and for the redemption of the soul of America. Woke Church is powerful. It will be a blessing to both clergy and lay. And now it's time to present Dr. Darren A. Thompson Sr. Darren Thompson, I met him, my wife and I met him when we were at Bethel. He was a young man at Bethel. He started dating a woman who is like a daughter to me, Shalon Thompson. They're married now and they have 2 sons, and he was always gifted. And later in life, God called him to ministry. God called him to go back to school and go back and get a Master's of Divinity. He recently had received a D.Min. His Master of Divinity comes from Virginia Union Samuel D. Wood Proctor School of Theology. He got his, listen to this, D.Min in Leadership in the Multi-Ethnic Context from Gordon Conwell. I was there for, I preached at his graduation celebration at his congregation called the Conquerors Church, which is in Edgewood, Maryland. And the reason I asked him to present is we were having a conversation one day about how they were doing their technical ministry, how they were reaching people with the word and worship and social action. And I thought it was important that as we move forward, I did not know at that time that COVID was going to get worse. But this young man, Dr. Darren A. Thompson Sr., pastor, preacher, father, husband, father, friend and like a son to me, and one who is doing an extraordinary job in the kingdom of God. Here, Dr. Darren A. Thompson, Sr. Love you, Shalon.
Well, good morning. This is the day the Lord has made. We are rejoicing. We are glad in it. I am overjoyed and honored to be able to share with each of you on this morning, to our very fine and able leaders of the 3rd Episcopal District of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, Bishop Frank Madison Reed III, his lovely wife, the wonderful, beautiful, and able Supervisor Marla Michon Hall Reed, to the official board of the church, to all of the presiding elders, the pastors, to my father's children, all of you who have come residing in the land of the dying, and you're trying in earnest to make it to the land of the living. I greet you the only way that I know how, and that is in Jesus' name. I'm Dr. Darren Thompson. I am the lead pastor and founder of the Conquerors Church in Edgewood, Maryland, and I'm simply grateful for the opportunity, Bishop, to share with this delegation. Bishop gave me 20 minutes, and so I want to make the best use of my 20 minutes. And so let's go quickly to the word. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, at verse number 10, we find these words recorded. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in needs, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. For when I am weak, then I am strong. My brothers and my sisters, for the next 17 and a half minutes, if you would simply think with me from the theme, from the thought, don't make excuses, make adjustments. Don't make excuses, make adjustments. My brothers and my sisters, just about 2 months ago now, we lost arguably one of the most gifted, talented, and versatile young actors of our time in the person of Chadwick Boseman. Chadwick was known mostly for his role and instant classic, The Black Panther. Who knew that the man in The Black Panther, while he was even making The Black Panther, was deathly ill? He really could have, my brothers and my sisters, spent the last 4 years of his life complaining. He could have spent the last 4 years of his life on Facebook posting pitiful posts. He could have been tweeting to gain sympathy. And for many of us, that really would have been all right. But he decided to spend the last 4 years of his life doing what he loved and making adjustments for how it was that he was going to do that. How be it, and how apropos that is for us at this time, when many of us are sitting in situations where we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. We're now 8 months into a pitiful pandemic. And while we're in the middle of this pitiful pandemic, we are still being charged. We are still being asked to perform. Things for the ministry have not stopped. In fact, if it seems like, to me, if we're really doing this thing right, we probably should be busier now that we're in the middle of a pandemic than we were when we were in the pandemic. And it's really interesting, my brothers and my sisters, because I am at a place right now where I'm busier, I'm doing more, and the expectation for what it is that we're doing continues to grow. And that really is interesting, because when we arrive on the scene of our text now, Bishop did not ask me to come and to do a class on homiletics or hermeneutics. However, this passage in 2 Corinthians begs us to really approach it. And so I got to just touch it, but I got to run. But right here, we see that Paul is ministering to the church at Corinth in his second letter, and he's really pushing them to understand that they have a responsibility. And my brothers and my sisters, I've been in contact with many persons who recognize that, you know what, we have a responsibility, but they've been making a whole bunch of excuses. And I've come to just push us in the 10 minutes to 15 minutes that I have left. I've come to push us that we will no longer make excuses. It's easy for us to make excuses. Oh, I don't have a whole bunch of folks. Oh, I only got 22 members, and they're between 50 and 70. Oh, I can't even have church. Oh, I just don't know how to do that. I'm not tech savvy. You want me to do what? You want me to get on social media? Oh no, I surely can't do that. My folks don't even have smartphones. We're not able to do that. We've heard in the midst of this pandemic, we've heard so many people that's been given so many excuses. And Paul said, nah, I'm not going to give no excuse. In fact, I get excited when it is that I'm facing a situation that everybody else tries to run from. No, I'm excited about that. And my brothers and my sisters, I want you to know that right now, where we are in 8 months being in a pandemic, whether you have 3 members, 13 or 30, whether you have 300 or 3,000, all of us are on the same playing field. Yeah, we are. And so the same pastor that see 9 people every single Sunday is on the same equal playing ground than the pastor that has 30. Well, Pastor, how in the world could you say that? How could you say that we're all on the same ground? I've come to tell you, we're all on the same ground because all of us are having church. Well, most of us. There are some people who have gone back, but the majority of the people are sitting at home trying to figure out how it is that I'm going to broadcast my message, how it is that I'm going to move forward. And my brothers and my sisters, I want to give you some tips in the time that I have left that's going to help you, because you've got to understand that right now where we are, all of us who are in ministry, we are facing a very challenging situation. And there's some people in our church that have made some decisions. While they may not have told you about the decision, they've made some decisions. We have 3 kinds of people right now. We have the nows, the not yets, and the never agains. Let me just say that again. We have the nows. We have the people that's ready to go back to church right now. They like, yep, Pastor, come on, let's go back. You say we're going back, we're going back. But then you have the not yet. Some people, they have pre-existing conditions and they're like, no, I love the Lord with all my heart. I'll even love you, Pastor. But right now I cannot chance it. So I'm going to come back at some point, but just not yet. I just can't come back right now. And then we have, and we don't want to talk about it, but we have the never agains. We have people that never again will they come and be in the church the same way that we know it. And our responsibility as pastors, our responsibility as church leaders is to come up with a strategy on how it is that I'm going to minister to all 3 groups. I've come to tell you that it can be done. And if we're going to be relevant in the marketplace, we've got to just decide that no longer can I give excuses about why it is that I can't do it, but I've got to move forward. There was a workshop that I attended. A workshop my good friend, Dr. Jamal Bryant, pulled together at the very beginning of COVID. He pulled together a group of people, and ultimately the end goal was to help pastors that did not have media directors, to help pastors that really had a gift and that people wanted to hear from them, but we were all stuck at home. And so what this workshop was designed to do was to move people out of the place of making excuses and to move them into a place where they were making some adjustments. That's what we saw Paul doing. We saw Paul making adjustments. He jumped in several times and he made some adjustments. So let me just share with you, Nona Jones, she is a lead at Facebook. She is responsible for faith-based partnerships at Facebook. And she did this workshop. She was one of the invited guests that Dr. Bryant had on. And she gave some startling statistics that really made me wake up. I want to share those with you, and then I'm going to run. The first thing she said was that right now 2.6 billion people are on Facebook. 2.6 billion people are on Facebook. 2 billion people are on YouTube. And so that kind of says to us that if that's where people are, that's where we need to be. And so I want to push somebody right now that's just like, you know what? We're still doing conference call church, that we're having church on the conference line. The conference line is working for us. We're having church on the conference line and we're not interested in doing anything else. I want to push you to ask yourself the question, if 2.6 billion people are out there in the social realm. That's where we need to be. Yeah, we've got to get there. We've got to get there because if 2.6 billion people are on Facebook, I need to be on Facebook. If 2 billion people are on YouTube, I need to be on YouTube. And I get it, my brother, my sister, I get it that you're saying, and I already hear some people have already turned me off because you're already saying, no, I'm not going to do that. We're happy. It's just 20 of us, and this is the time for us to thrive. This is the time for you to push yourself to learn something. I will just tell you, and I will park parenthetically here and just tell you that during this pandemic, I had to learn how to move. I pastor a church and it's under 100 of us, and I had to figure out how is it that I'm going to keep them engaged but then grow at the same time. See, we are in a time of expansion. This is a time of growth. This is our time to lead and no longer make excuses. And so Nona Jones pushed us. Nona Jones, if you go to Google and you Google Nona Jones, a whole bunch of workshops will come up. Go and visit and share and meet with her. But one of the things that she shared with us was, she said that, every church really need to have a presence. And so I want to push you. These are some things that I'm suggesting that you do. The first thing you've got to do is, if you do not have a social presence, you've got to establish a presence. See, one of the things that people are doing right now is that they don't have a presence. They don't really understand about the presence. But at some point, I can no longer hide behind that. I got to jump out there and I got to do it. I got to do what's working. And I just tell you that I jumped out there and it's working for us, that I see probably 50 more people than I normally saw on Sunday. Giving is at an all-time high. Our giving has just increased 35-40% over where we were this time last year in the middle of a pandemic. And it's simply because I decided to step out there and move. So let me just give you some tangible things in the 9 minutes that I have left. Some tangible things that each of us need to do, recognizing that you're ministering now to 3 types of people. And in January, February, or March, we will all go back to church, and the task that we will be facing is going to increase, because now you have to figure out, how do I create a strategy where I'm able to minister to all 3 groups: the nows, the not yets, and the never agains. So the first thing that you've got to do, according to Nona Jones, is you've got to develop a Facebook. You've got to develop a presence on Facebook. Now, you need to ask yourself the question, do I need a page or do I need a group? Which of the 2 do I really need? Well, you need both of them. But the difference between a page and a group is like walking somebody outside your house and then taking somebody inside your house. So your page is your Facebook page is like your front porch. It's your front porch. It's you can come and you can sit on the porch and you can look around and see everything that's taking place. But when I develop a group is like inviting them in and sitting them in my living room and reclining in my lazy boy chair and really just beginning to engage. So I want to push you to have you a Facebook page and create yourself a Facebook group where people will be notified when they come on. And so somebody said, well, you know what? I don't even know how I'm going to do that. Let me simplify it for you and break it down and just put it in 3 different groups. There's some things that you need to get. And what I'm going to share with you, I'm sharing this with the person that does not have a media director, the person that might be bivocational, and you're stepping out there because you've got to do this for yourself. I will tell you that I had 2 members that's in their 70s, and we had to get with them, work with them, put masks on and meet them to do a tutorial on how it is that you download an app and how you get on Facebook and how you subscribe to the YouTube page, so that whenever pastor is on, you're able to see 3 things that I need you to do in this age. 3 things that I need you to do in this age, in this day and time. I'm going to share it with you and then I'm around. The first thing you've got to do, and Paul helped us with this, the first thing you've got to do is you've got to establish a presence, both internally and externally. You've got to establish a presence internally and externally. So externally, I'm going to get on Facebook. I'm going to get on YouTube. I'm going to create a Twitter account and just post little things so that people are able to hear my heart. And not only my members. See, we have a dual responsibility at this time, that I'm ministering to my members, but I'm also ministering to those people who are not yet my members. They are people that's been hanging around. I want to pull them in and invite them in. How do I do that? I create a Facebook page in the name of the church. In the name of the church, I create a page. I invite people to come and to be a part. And I get my members to help me. Say to your members, if you have young people, now is the greatest time to utilize your youth ministry to establish you in the social realm. If you don't have any young people in your church, ask your members that have grandkids to tell their grandkids to come and help you. And so I need to establish a social presence externally, but then internally, what am I doing to reach my people inside? I'll tell you, at the Conquerors Church, we are on YouTube, Facebook, we're on Periscope, and we have a streaming mechanism called StreamYard. You can grab StreamYard, you can pay a monthly fee, and it will allow you to stream to all of those different places. But I have an external situation, but then I do a whole bunch of stuff internally. I need my folks to hear my voice. So we have a thing that we do on Sunday after service, after our 30-minute service, because one of the things that Nona Jones teaches is that people that's on social, you trying to have an hour and 30-minute service. You reading the prayer, you reading 2 scriptures, you doing the summary of the Decalogue, you doing the Apostles' Creed, you got your choir singing 3 songs, and in the social realm, that does not work. Nona is pushing us to have 30-minute church. And I know right now I just lost somebody. That 30-minute church, oh my God, I can't have 30-minute church. Yes, you can. And what Nona shared with us was that as they look at the analytics, people who are having church longer than 35, 40 minutes, people are clicking on your page and then they're leaving. We're not able to hold people. And so I want to push you. If you don't hear anything else, try to figure out in this social space how to have a 30, no longer than 40-minute service. And then after service, I have a thing called Happy Hour, where I get on Zoom, another free app. Zoom, you can use 45 minutes for free. If you want to do more than 45 minutes, you have to do something else. But I pull them into Zoom after church every Sunday so that I can see their face and so that I can speak vision to them, so that I can encourage them to invite some people. So you've got to establish a presence. But then the second thing that you've got to do is that you've got to grow your audience. You've got to grow your audience. What are you doing in your church to grow your audience? Sunday service is just not enough. So grow your audience by having Sunday service. But then what are you doing outside of Sunday? People need to see that you're doing something. Are you giving away food? Is there any outreaches that's taking place? Are you doing drive-by? Right now, the government is giving anybody that want it. The food banks are giving you food, and you can have drive-throughs at your church where people can drive through. If all you have is 7 cans that you can give to people, then put an announcement out on Facebook and say, hey, our church is giving away canned food. We're giving away toothpaste. We're giving away toothbrushes. Whatever it is that you can do at your level, because remember, there's levels to this. Whatever you can do at your level, do it. And so as you grow your audience, are you doing Bible study on Facebook? Are you doing Bible study on YouTube? Are you doing Bible study on Zoom? If you are, that's great. But let's push it a step further. What about having pulling people into a class and doing small group classes? I have a small group right now for men. I have a small group for women. I have a small group for married couples. What are you doing to grow your audience? So you got to establish a presence. You got to grow your audience. And then the next thing you got to do, you got to make it tight. People are looking for stuff that looks good. You can make your stuff look good for a little bit of money. Can I just talk to you for a minute and tell you that if people see you, if your background is not tight, people are not going to stay. If you are not, that people can't hear you, they're not going to stay. At this time, you've got to invest some money. Let me give it to you. Go to Amazon.com. Find you a backdrop that looks nice. They have 50, 75 backdrops that you can get. Go to Amazon.com, buy you a backdrop so that what the people are seeing, it looks nice. You can film from your phone. If you have an iPhone, an iPad, you don't have to go and buy a $3,000 camera. You can film from your phone, put it on video and begin to film. You can go to Canva, C-A-N-V-A, Canva.com. Canva.com will help you create graphics. It will make people think that you have a graphic artist that you're paying $75,000 a year. Canva.com will help you with your graphics. LumaFusion. LumaFusion, it's an app that you can download to your iPhone, and you can edit your video right from your iPhone. You can edit your video with LumaFusion. It is user friendly. There are YouTube videos on how to do it. LumaFusion. You can buy yourself a Boya mic, B-O-Y-A mic. It's a little mic that looks just like this. It will give you sound that will be phenomenal. Music, you can download other people's music and you can play them on your broadcast. I know you think you got the baddest praise team, but if you don't have somebody that's cutting that and putting sounds underneath it to bring out the sound, your music is sounding horrible on social. So loop in some people that's already, you can get a second round artist that will sing first round music, and you can put them on your video. I have some of the greatest that come and do praise and worship for me every single Sunday. It's awesome. And then a circle light for $40 just to give some light so that people can see you. If you will do that and you will decide that I'm no longer going to make excuses, I'm going to make adjustments, you will find that people will begin to see it. You will have members. You might be in Ohio. You'll have members that are in California that will sow into your church. I have a global ministry now, a local church that has a global ministry and a global reach, and people globally sow into our church. I hope that you're not still driving around picking people's money up. Cash App, Venmo, text to give. All of those are things that you can use. My time is up, and I want Bishop to invite me back, so I have to honor this time, but my time is up, and I thank you so much for yours. God bless you.
Wow, what an absolutely powerful message from our godson in ministry, Dr. Darren Thompson. Don't make excuses, make adjustments. That was an absolutely relevant and timely message because, so often in the midst of COVID, because it has had so many consequences, we're used to adjusting to COVID. No, what I got from that message is make COVID adjust to us, because we are the upper hand and we are called to be the kingdom of God, and we should raise the standard. Thank you, Dr. Darren Thompson. We appreciate how eloquent you are. And I just messaged him and asked him to begin to put some of those links, post some of those links in the comments for you, because he provided very real-time suggestions and links for you to enhance your online presence. So more is to come your way.
We're going to get with Robin and Brian after the conference and find out if there's a way where we can get these key presentations to you, because between Robin and Pastor Goodman's session and Darren Thompson's session, it will take us to a new level.
Absolutely.
I want to build, and then we're right on time. It's 11:01. We'll start our political session at 11:03. And we want to welcome back the absent supervisor. She was in another meeting with the YPD, and she forgot that she was married to the bishop.
Oh, you're being shady.
I'm so glad. I got a friend that calls me Bishop Shady, but I'm telling the truth, and the truth will make you free,
yes, so
and financially whole.
Don't complain. Make adjustments. You made adjustments. You did very well.
We want to move from don't make excuses, make adjustments to beyond the expected. If you're going to move beyond the expected, it's essential that you don't make excuses, you make adjustments. And there's a great business book entitled No More Excuses. No More Excuses. And God's people don't make excuses. Indeed, as you will discover in our message, God's people don't take sides, they take over. And so now, as we're getting ready to go into our next session, voter engagement, a fight for our democracy, I want to present Reverend Micah C.T. Sims, the pastor of Lee Memorial, AME, Cleveland, Ohio, and then we will come back at the proper time with Dr. Bishop Leah Daughtry, Leah Daughtry is a powerful woman of God, and her father was one of my heroes, Dr. Herbert Daughtry, when he pastored in Brooklyn, New York. And it was at the house of the Lord under Reverend Daughtry, her father's leadership, that Cornell West taught a Sunday school class that became the book Prophesied Deliverance. So Reverend Micah Thomas, it is now 11:03, and let us move forward. And I just got to sign 5 more minutes. And so during these 5 more minutes, we want, at 5 more minutes, we're going to take a break. And we're going to take a 5-minute break. Okay. Right now, we're going to do break dance for 5 minutes. We're going to do the holy hokey pokey. And so you can get a bathroom break. Old people like Supervisor and myself, you can have a bathroom break, a water break, whatever your break is. Go on, see you in 5 minutes.
Okay, so don't forget, this is a great time for you to click, tag, and share this message, because there's
and invite
more,
other people to come on.
Absolutely, more powerful engagement and more information. We're almost down to 80 hours left before the most historic engagement of our lifetime, and we want to make sure that we get out the information. Right now, over 15,000 viewers have tuned in, and so we want to take this moment in time, because this is a big moment in history. It's a critical moment. We want to get out all of the information. So take this time, this break, to connect other people, get them to tune in. We'll see you in just a few more moments.
America needs radical reconstruction. Join Bishop Franklin Reed III, Supervisor Marla Reed, and Kingdom Strategists to strengthen and encourage our country in the days ahead. Join Bishop Leah Daughtry, Dr. Jamal Bryant, Co-Pastor Susie Owens, Dr. Dennis Dickerson, Mr. Marcus Henderson, Elder Robin Ware, Dr. Darren Thompson, Reverend Tamika Reed Sims, Dr. Charles E. Goodman, and Bishop Franklin Reed III. Plan now for Radical Reconstruction, a virtual strategy meeting October 29th through October 31st. Live stream on all 30 Episcopal districts, social media, Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website. Connect your family and friends for this essential gathering and time of strengthening October 29th through the 31st. Plan now to attend Radical Reconstruction.